Welcome to Mid-Century Living, your weekly nostalgia podcast about the best of technology and culture from the mid-20th century.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 43 of Mid-Century Living, the show where we talk all about the best of the mid-century and how to bring the mid-century vibes to your modern life. We're your hosts, Gonzalo.
And Jackie. And today we're celebrating 1 year of podcasting. Gonzalo, can you believe it's been a year?
Woo! It feels like longer, but yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm just shocked it's September already.
Yes.
Which is how I know it's been a year. But
yes. It is so long in time.
So since we're celebrating our birthday or anniversary, not sure what to call it, we decided to celebrate it by spending an episode looking back on 1 year of podcasting.
Yeah. We're also going to make this episode available as a video episode on our YouTube channel, which will be maybe a little bit longer than the audio, just because of editing. But go check it out. Our YouTube handle is at MCL Podcast, which is the same as our Instagram handle.
Indeed. So I guess we can icebreaker start off with like a couple stats to like list our accomplishments as a show so far. I don't know why I keep doing this.
It's okay. I don't know.
I feel like I need to do something with my hands.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do jazz hands.
Just do jazz hands.
So we released 42 episodes, 43 including this one. I'm actually gonna stop that. Covering almost 20 different topics. And for the purposes of that, we were counting things like episode 9, which was MCM design, and episode 12, which was MCM architecture, under the same topic of MCM design.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't include a note that says amazement, so how do we know how to react to this in the script?
I know, right? Amazement. I think you can just do jazz hands anytime. Anyway, our most downloaded episode is episode 9, Mid-Century Modern Design, which has been listened to far and wide across the world. So in North and South America, Asia, Europe, and even Oceania.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I just figured it would be cool to say that because next year when we do our 2-year anniversary birthday special, we could see if Mid-Century Modern Design is still the most popular one. I just kind of wanted the record to show. I thought that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
It
keeps being downloaded. Like it constantly increases. Yeah. So Jackie, what was your favorite episode to research?
So my favorite episode to research was definitely Disneyland. Mainly because I researched that one by giving myself an excuse to watch a bunch of Disneyland documentaries and old Disneyland TV show episodes on YouTube and Disney Plus. So while I did research text, I also watched like a ton of opening day of Disneyland footage documentaries as my research for that. So that was just a really fun weekend.
You recommended those, and I gotta be honest, I haven't watched them yet.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, they're still on Disney Plus.
That's the thing. They're on Disney Plus, and I forget that I have a subscription to that because originally I got it from my nieces, and I forget I have one. So, not nieces. I mean, I forget I have a Disney Plus subscription.
So for those of you following along, making notes, the Disneyland episodes were episodes 5 and 6, and then we also just released them as a supercut, where you can just listen to the Disneyland facts with minimal chit-chat, if you would rather just get your Disneyland facts in a row.
You want to get down to the brass tacks.
Yes. So what was your favorite episode to research?
So I really enjoyed, pretty much anything that's transportation related. Shout out to one of our most recent ones, the Ocean Liners. But if I had to select one, would be actually also a 2-parter, which was the Apollo program, episodes 26 and episode 27. I mean, we had one on NASA, which was also a lot of fun. But Apollo, there's just so much, so much about it that it was kind of cool to just research that. It was a big struggle to not go detailed, but it's such a big part of like the 60s, especially with the moon landing, that that was my favorite one.
Yeah, I think you can tell when you listen to it that you were really excited about that episode too.
Especially because in like you can't see me jumping up and down in my chair like I am right now.
So that was your favorite episode to research. What was your favorite episode to listen to?
To listen to was the hot dog episode.
Same.
Awesome. Okay. So here's why. And I can say it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. All right. National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, 6 words. That's a thing that exists. And
Yeah.
listening to us talk about it, especially the etiquette segment about like how to properly eat a hot dog, and what's the do's and don'ts. Like
Yep.
that was like editing it and like listening to it, like in the car on the way to work on Friday. Like I was laughing the whole time.
You cracking up halfway through the etiquette segment was my favorite part of that episode too. I hope that strangers think that was as much fun to listen to as I did, because I thought it was
Yes.
hilarious. It was really fun to record and really fun to listen to. That's awesome that we wrote the same one down.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't check. We actually purposely did not share our answers to our list of topics to discuss because we wanted it to be a surprise to each other. So I guess I already know if I ask you which one you listen to the best or the most or liked listening to the most. But why? Why did you choose that one?
Specifically because of the etiquette segment.
Okay.
Like that was... I laughed out loud again listening to it later, even though by the time I listened to it whenever our episodes come out and I listen to them, that's the third time I'm listening to it, because like we record it, then we edit it, and then here it comes out to hear the finished product, and it's usually just like, yes, this is an episode re-recorded, and it's like very matter of fact my listening experience, but that one was genuinely fun. So
Yes.
Hot dogs, for sure. That's episode 37, anyone following along. If you haven't listened to that one, it is a treat.
It is. And not just a treat because it's about food talk the entire episode. Also, thank you for writing down the number, because I definitely did not write the number to any of these.
I thought that might be helpful.
Yes, it would. Okay, so we typically like write our own episodes and then like share them with each other before we record. And a lot of times, if it's like something very niche, like one of us will take the lead and the other one will like kind of like take a step back. So what was your favorite episode that I researched?
I picked 2.
Okay.
So my favorite, because I had kind of, so my favorite episode that you wrote that I knew nothing about at all is the electric car.
Oh, yes.
Because I had no idea electric cars went back. Like I had nothing. I went in completely blind to that episode. So that was really fun for me because it was all totally foreign stuff that I didn't even know a little bit about.
Mm-hmm.
So that was favorite number 1. But my favorite episode you wrote that I knew stuff about is the Carol Burnett Show.
Oh, yes. I love that episode.
And that was fun because I kind of knew some of it, but then I learned more about something I already liked. So that was my favorite episode for that reason. And because I wrote this down, Electric Car was episode 15 and the Carol Burnett Show was episode 21.
I loved the Carol Burnett episode. And yes, a big part of it was because as research for that episode, I got to watch the Carol Burnett, and I literally sat down. I think I watched like 10 or 15 episodes. And not long ago, over summer, I was like, oh man, I don't know. I'm like flipping. We don't really flip through the channels anymore. But I was like scrolling through like Amazon Prime Video. I was like, what do I want to watch? And I was like, okay. And I watched Carol Burnett Show. And someone at work was like doing something about like, oh yeah, I like how like whenever like I forgot what it was. They were talking about some theater show they saw. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like how they like did this to like say hi to their people. I go, actually, that is from the Carol Burnett Show. She used to do that to say hello to her grandmother. So
I'm glad that that's the other thing, is researching these episodes is a great way to just have a bunch of fun facts like that ready to go out in society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was your favorite episode that I wrote?
My favorite episode that you wrote was the Hilltop Coca-Cola ad.
Yay!
Yes, I loved it. It was so much fun. I loved watching the ad and listening to it, and we actually threw a couple of seconds of that into it. But it was just like, I went into that one being like, we're talking about advertising. Okay. And I was like,
and not just advertising one specific commercial. How's this gonna be
Yes.
30 minutes long?
yes. So I went completely blind into it. And then after, I don't think it was during recording or maybe after I actually watched it. I go, oh, this is actually kind of fun.
Yay!
So this is what I do when I have fun.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it though.
Good. Well, I had a lot of fun writing that one too. Fun fact: since then, I've started rewatching Mad Men again, so we'll see what other kind of
And I still have not
topics
watched
it
Mad Men.
inspires. What?
So, and I still have not watched it.
Well, if you want to try to catch up, I just finished season 1 on my rewatch. We can talk about the episodes. Ooh, that would be a fun spin-off podcast.
Yes,
Where
that
we just
little light bulb just went up in above Jackie's face. Maybe I'll have to put one.
Did you see? We should add that in post since there's a video component.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. If I was faster, I could turn that one on and it can be like that. But
oh man, no! But then you need to talk to that would have been
Yeah.
really funny. You need to get. Okay, so next topic is biggest struggle. I wonder if we're gonna tie on this one too. What would you say our biggest struggle from the first year of podcasting was?
okay, so I don't know if we're gonna tie because, or maybe we will. I don't know. My biggest struggle has been learning how to edit audio.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't outsource. Okay, we do the whole work ourselves. Jackie's great at the Instagram stuff, which is another one of my struggles I put down because I don't know how to use Instagram. That makes me sound like a million years old. But learning to edit has been a lot of fun, and I hope that my editing skills have gotten better through the season. But well, there's multiple. I think though our biggest struggle, like for the show itself, though, that I put down is like doing the research, which is also not a struggle because I thoroughly enjoy it. But sometimes it's like, oh, I how do I put all this information into one episode?
Yeah, one of my struggles I wrote down was getting into a schedule and rhythm, which is kind of that. But I feel like at the beginning we were doing one episode a week, and then researching, recording it, editing it, releasing it all at once. And like trying to figure out as we were going on that wasn't a super sustainable thing if we ever want to have social lives or other hobbies. So trying to figure out like a schedule that worked for us for recording and editing, I think was like something that took us months.
Yes.
So
but I think it works.
That was my sub struggle though. My first struggle, which I thought you were going to also put, was our hosting drama at the very beginning where we had like Podcastle.
Oh yeah.
And they sucked and kept losing our audio or the video half or whatever, and then we had to switch hosts like 6 or 7 episodes in.
Yes. We switched hosts. Now the host we use has been great. Yes. Technology is a struggle.
Yeah,
and again, I sound like a million years old. And funnily enough, I say that because when we're trying to get ready for today's episode, I accidentally touched a cable, and my technology was like, "You know what? You're done for the day." I'm like, "No, I haven't started yet."
How dare you touch a cable? It's like, no.
Seriously, guys, like I don't know what I did, and like it took me 15 minutes to get set up because I accidentally nudged the cable, and then my computer was like, "You know what? Yes, you're using your camera. You can't use it for podcasting." And I was like, "But I am." And then we accidentally somehow ended up with like 3 of us in the room, 2 of which were me.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's still a struggle. But yeah, I think that like hosting drama at the beginning and having to like move so quickly, I think was probably the biggest like collective struggle. And then just time management was just like like scheduling and recording.
And do you remember my internet struggle? When
No.
like my computers wouldn't connect to the internet, so we couldn't podcast, and then it was slow, and then like I lost part of the audio. That was also
like
part
when
of
you
it
were
as well.
Pixels. I remember that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to be Pixels, and now I'm beautiful.
Yeah, there was, yeah, like that was weeks of recording where you were just pixels that whole time, and we were just like hoping the audio would sound okay.
Yes, yes.
But we're getting through it. We're learning a lot. So, what would you say then, now that we've gone over our struggles, was the biggest win we've had so far?
I think our biggest win, okay, audio podcast is one thing. Instagram social media is another thing. I think our biggest social media win was the Frigidaire Flare Instagram reel, which went viral.
Yes!
Is that what you wrote down too?
Yeah.
Nice.
But like also, yeah, like that I think was mainly I think the biggest win grand scheme was figuring out that reel format at all, because still posts weren't doing anything. Like I think that like the social media, that's the thing, is I think I've noticed this in a lot of other podcasting Instagram accounts, is that it's so, especially if you have your own personal Instagram account, it's hard to remember to come up with engaging content for a podcast that you're already pouring so much time into off camera. That like now turning this audio format into something that'll be interesting visually is rough. Like I think settling on that reel idea where we're just like, we want it to be a standalone version of the most interesting things about this episode, so it's like kind of a commercial, but it'll also work on its own. Like I feel like that, just discovering that at all was a big win. And then I put as a little subtopic the Frigidaire Flare reel.
Yeah, which by the way, hats off, well, not really because my headphones will move. Hats off to Jackie because she's the one that figured that out. So. But yeah, that and by the way, followers, where you at? Because we want to listen to you. Send us stuff.
Send us stuff.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm glad we tied again.
Yeah. I will say though, like a biggest win, like episode wise, has been doing anything that's design related. And the reason why I say that is because I was very nervous when we did the first MCM architecture episode, because I used to be an architect. And shout out to architecture friends who are listening, hopefully watching. But I was so like, I can't screw up. This was my life. Like I can't screw up and accidentally say something that is architecture and like wrong.
Right.
So, but that's why I had like two little things, two wins. Was getting that episode out, and then...
Well, I think that episode turned out great, and yeah you were worrying over nothing because you actually do know what you're talking about, and that helps.
Hopefully. but that was my biggest wins. What about goals? What do you hope to accomplish? Now that we've talked about like the greatness has been this past year, moving forward to the next year, what do you think?
I put a few things. The first on my list is time management, which even though I said that like we've gotten into a rhythm and that was one of my struggles, I still feel like I'm not working ahead enough. I would like to be working ahead more so that I could devote more time to research, and then the turnaround isn't as quick. But the only way to do that is to start everything kind of like earlier. So that's one of my personal goals, is I want to just try to do things farther in advance than I typically do. Another goal I wrote is I want to do more YouTube stuff. So I'm kind of hoping, yay, time!
Yeah!
So yeah, I think there are a lot of people on YouTube.
Yes.
And that's like a whole market that we could be getting into if we could get that thing off the ground. So this helps.
Which I have no clue how to do. But
yeah, I think it would be cool if we could grow that a little bit more. And I also want to freaking build a website a year into the podcast. Apparently, like one of the first rule of podcasting is you should have a website already when you launch. And now we're a year in and I still haven't made one. So
it's okay.
I should probably get on that.
I fully agree. I want YouTube. That was what I wrote down. I didn't think about the website. Although now that I think about it, we have been talking about it since day one.
Yeah.
Like literally, like when we sat down, we're like, we should do a podcast. I think that was one of the top things we had in our bullet list was website. But yes, more YouTube, which I'm trying. Social media. Like I have an Instagram. I use my Instagram to like view other people's stuff, but I very like my personal one. I very rarely post on it
Yeah.
because I don't know what is interesting. Like what, like I find something interesting. Do people find that interesting? So
Yeah, that's
YouTube
something
is my
I've
challenge.
done in my personal Instagram lately. Is I caring a little bit less about what I think will work, and more about like sharing moments.
Hmm.
My growth has stalled, but my overall like life appreciation is greater. so so I think it's better like I'm just if I'm doing something and I'm like proud of it, or if I went somewhere and it was fun, I'm just posting that as on my Instagram now. So there, I don't know if anyone follows me on Instagram, you might have noticed a like shift. It's like less project based and more life moment based posts, and that's really just because I'm having fun instead of worrying
There you
about
go.
content, which is not a great way to grow our YouTube. But
Hey, but I appreciate the food chat, no, food chat. I was gonna say food chat. Look that the food posts with your meal prep because sometimes they inspire mine. Even though a lot of the times, no, I would say 99.9% of the time I eat the same thing every day. But every now and again, I'll have like, oh, I should change my diet, and I'll text Jackie, be like, hey, what do you think about making this? And I did that this week.
Yep.
So, but I also have one more goal because
Okay.
yes, because I think, and I tried, but I want to have some people come in, some more experts of mid-century. You know, we've had some guest hosts come in and do an episode when one of us wasn't able to be present, but it would be fun to have like a interview. So if you know stuff about mid-century and you're very passionate about it, you know, slid into our DMs. That sounds weird. Send us a DM.
I was actually the Jeep episode that we had our guest host Alex on. Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Was gonna be. That was one of my favorite episodes to listen to. It was really cool to hear the show without me in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it still really felt like the show. I don't know. Listeners, let us know if you felt that way also, that it didn't feel like not an episode of our show. Like it wasn't like I don't know. I'm trying to think of some like sitcom like a spin-off or something kind of.
Cheers and Frasier.
Yeah. It wasn't quite as different as Cheers and Frasier. It just kind of felt like Cheers with Kirstie Alley.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, I think we should more guest hosts and more interviews, or any
Yes.
interviews. That would be cool.
Yes,
So if
yes,
anyone
yes.
wants to be on the pod,
Look, you
let
get
us
to
know.
see our faces via the internet if you do
Yes.
this.
And we've
Like
got
an actual
our
conversation
video
type.
recording thing sorted out now finally, so we could totally pull this off.
Yeah. So, but anything else, Jackie, you want to say for our anniversary episode?
Just that I'm really glad we're doing this. I think it's super fun. It's been really cool to, instead of just enjoying vaguely the aesthetic and the greatest hits of this time period as it like trickles onto the internet, actually digging deeper into all of these topics has been, I feel like, better for me mentally. Like, because I'm learning stuff, which I haven't really been doing in a while. I'm not that big of a reader normally. I'm like very on the internet or in my own world. I'm not really reading as much as I should. So this has been super helpful. Also, you with your technology and transportation topics, these are things I never would have researched on my own. So I feel like I'm growing a lot from this experience. So thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. I didn't write anything like that down. Thanks for putting me in the spot.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, but I would echo Jackie in saying that it's a lot of fun to read and learn about all the topics we talk about, because this is all history that's happened. And yes, I'm a history teacher. I am the resident history nerd. So I love learning about stuff. So it's been a lot of fun to listen to you talk about stuff, and then also me researching things that are like, you know what, I want to know a little bit more about the Apollo program.
Mhm.
So, which I also watched many documentaries for.
Well, hopefully it's as fun for you guys to listen to as it is for us to record. So,
Yeah. And if you have
looking-
topic ideas, send them our way.
yes, but in the meantime, I'm looking forward to another year of researching mid-century topics, which we can
Yeah.
never seem to run out of. So,
Yeah.
but still, we'll always take suggestions if anyone wants to hear us research something that they don't
Yeah,
feel like
definitely.
researching.
Yeah, we'll do the research for you and then we'll talk to you about it.
Yep.
So awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to another year as well, of all the same things like that. And it looks like that we have landed the plane. Look at that. Thank you guys all for listening today. Thank you guys all for watching if you are. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the show and tell a friend.
You can also follow us on Instagram at MCL Podcast, and this is the best place to send us feedback and episode suggestions. So send us a DM anytime. And you can also find us on YouTube, or you already did, at MCL Podcast, which is the same handle.
Yes.
Also, before we go, you can also contact us through our new fan mail feature on your favorite podcast delivery service. There should be a send
Platform.
us a text message option in each of our episodes, so you can use it to send us notes.
Yeah, so send us some fan mail. And you can send us topics there as well. But thank you guys for listening and for watching. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye!
Thank you for listening to Mid-Century Living. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and leave a review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at MCL Podcast. See you next Friday.